Chapter 5. There is little to tell of the outward journey. The tedium of it soon bulked larger than the perils. Knights exchanged harsh words, and John Hayward had to crack more than one pair of heads together to keep order among his bowmen. The serfs took it best. When not caring for livestock or eating, they merely slept. I noticed that Lady Catherine was often at converse with Sir Owain, and that her husband was no longer overjoyed about it. However, he was always caught up in some plan or preparation, and the younger knight did give her hours of distraction, even of merriment. Sir Roger and I spent much time with Branethar, who was willing enough to tell us about his race and its empire. I was reluctantly coming to believe his claims. Strange that so ugly a breed should dwell in what I judged to be the third heaven, but the fact could not be denied. Belike, I thought, when Scripture mentioned the four corners of the world, it did not mean our planet Terra at all, but referred to a cubical universe. Beyond this must lie the abode of the blessed. While Branethar's remark about the molten interior of the earth was certainly consonant with prophetic visions of hell, Branethar told us that there were about 100 worlds like our own in the Wurzger Empire. They circled as many separate stars, for no sun was likely to have more than one habitable planet. Each of these worlds was the dwelling place of a few million Wurzgeriks, who liked plenty of room. Except for the capital planet, Wurzgorixen, they bore no cities. But those on the frontiers of the empire, like Therixan, whither we were bound, had fortresses which were also space navy bases. Branethar stressed the firepower and impregnability of these castles. If a usable planet had intelligent natives, these were either exterminated or enslaved. The Wurzgeriks did no menial work, leaving this to such helots or to automata. Themselves, they were soldiers, managers of their vast estates, traders, owners of manufactories, politicians, courtiers. Being unarmed, the enslaved natives had no hope of revolting against the relatively small number of alien masters. Sir Roger muttered something about distributing weapons to these oppressed beings when we arrived, and telling them about the Jacquerie. But Branethar guessed his intent, laughed, and said Theraxion had never been inhabited, so there were only a few hundred slaves on the entire planet. This empire filled a rough sphere in space, about 2,000 light-years across. A light-year being the incredible distance that light covers in one standard Wurzger year, which Branethar said was about 10% longer than the terrestrial period. It included millions of suns within their worlds, but most of these, because of poisonous air or poisonous life forms or other things, were useless to the Wurzgrix and ignored. Sir Roger asked if they were the only nation which had learned to fly between the stars. Branithar shrugged contemptuously. We have encountered 3 others who developed the art independently, he said. They live within the sphere of our empire, but so far we have not subdued them. It was not worthwhile when primitive planets are such easier game. We allow these 3 races to traffic and to keep the small number of colonies they had already established in other planetary systems. But we have not allowed them to continue expanding. A couple of minor wars settled that. They have no love for us. They know we will destroy them someday when it is convenient for us to do so. But they are helpless in the face of overwhelming power. I see, nodded the Baron. He instructed me to start learning the Wurzger language. Branithar found it amusing to teach me, and I could smother my own fears by hard work, so it went quite fast. Their tongue was barbarous, lacking the noble inflections of Latin, but on that account, not hard to master. In the control turret I found drawers full of charts and numerical tables. All the writing was beautifully exact. I thought they must have such scribes it was a pity they had not gone on to illuminate the pages. Puzzling over these, and using what I had learned of the Wurzger speech and alphabet, I decided that this was a set of navigational directions. A regular map of the planet Thraxion was included, since this had been the home base of the expedition. I translated the symbols for land, sea, river, fortress, and so on. Sir Roger pored long hours over it. Even the Saracen chart his grandfather had brought back from the Holy Land was crude compared to this. Though, on the other hand, the Wurzgrix showed lack of culture by omitting pictures of mermaids, the 4 winds, hippogriffs, and similar ornamentation. I also deciphered the legends on some of the control panel instruments. Such dials as those for altitude and speed could readily be mastered. But what did fuel flow mean? What was the difference between sublight drive and superlight drive? Truly, these were potent, though pagan, charms. And so the sameness of days passed, and after a time, which felt like a century, we observed that one star was waxing in the screens. It swelled until it flamed big and bright as our own sun. And then we saw a planet, similar to ours, save that it had 2 small moons. Downward we plunged, till the scene was not a ball in the sky, but a great, rugged sweep of landscape under our footsoles. When I saw heaven again turned blue, I threw myself to the deck in thanksgiving. The lock bar snapped upward. The ship came to a halt and hung where it was, a mile in the air. We had reached Thraxion.